Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us. For those who don't know us, my name's Grace.
My name's Eden.
And we are the founders of the anti-abortion platform, Abortion, It's a Black and White Issue. But today we're joined by a very special guest, Christina, who is a member of Southampton Students for Life, which is one of the many UK pro-life university societies.
In recent times now, we've seen a rise in the pro-life/anti-abortion university activism. So over the next couple of weeks, Black and White Issue are going to be doing some quick Q&A sessions with these students to learn a bit about their thoughts and experiences as pro-life students on campus. So I guess we can just dive straight in. And Christina, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Christina. I'm currently living in Bournemouth, but I was at Southampton studying law and I started a society in September. But I've decided to change my course because I wanted a lot more time dedicated to my pro-life work, but I'm still going to be trying to carry on the society.
Oh, and so what is it that's made you so passionately pro-life?
I think I was always really pro-life because my mum used to take me to a lot of her pro-life rallies outside of abortion clinics when I was little.
Drag you
so
along.
I always grew up. Yeah, it dragged me along. So I always grew up with that. But what made me really pro-life was secondary school, being especially in RE classes and hearing the way that the boys talked, even to female teachers who had children themselves. They would be really disrespectful and they would just say things that just sounded like they didn't know anything. And I realised that they really didn't know anything. And that's when I thought, young people especially, they need to be educated on this. So I went to the March for Life, I started reading more, started watching more, and then I started speaking at my school, and that's when I just became really passionate about it. And when I got to university, that was my platform to say, right, let's get like the young generation to get going.
Wow.
So you're at university now, so can you tell us a bit about your pro-life society?
Yeah, so it started in actually about October, because I tried to get it started in September and they were kind of a bit annoying about it. So they said to me that like, oh, we can't affiliate it yet. We want to see what you're going to do first. So they were like, we want to see what kind of events you're putting on, the way that you're acting, because I think the fact that it was pro-life to start with was kind of alarm bells for them. So after I got an event started going, I got the Facebook page and we put like posters on campus and all of that, they started to get a little bit easy about it, except two girls in the student union just were not easy about it. The massive barrier that I found with my society was the people, trying to get people involved, trying to get young people involved, even if they're pro-life, even if they have pro-life views. Like if you say to them, can you please join in, they'll just be like, oh, like a bit worried about it, or they just can't be bothered. So that's probably the biggest kind of barrier that I've got right now.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, like as a woman who's anti-abortion, we're very often accused by pro-aborts as fighting against our own human rights. So as a woman, how do you or would you respond to that?
It depends on like who exactly I'm talking to, but one of the big things is obviously gender selective abortions. Like you literally can't argue with that. In India, in China, all these things, and even the way that women are treated. So for example, with the one-child policy, in China, the way that women were treated was, against their human rights. So also there's so many stories that even in American Planned Parenthood and in England, that women aren't shown the full facts. So I saw recently that there was a woman who got an abortion, I think it was at 23 or 24 weeks, and she wasn't told that the baby could feel pain, and she was saying, if I knew that, if they had told me that, I wouldn't have aborted my child. So it's literally a money game for them. It's a money game, and it's just destruction, and that is all they want. They don't give you, Mary Stopes wanted to make sure that they don't have scans for the mothers. Like, it is not at all trying to help mothers and trying to help them through this. there's no way, like no evidence for that. So that's usually what I tell people. And then for women who kind of gauge that they're like, you know, a bit shy, or, you know, a bit shy about all of this, you can kind of appeal to their maternal side and their femininity, and talk to them a bit about how this is an exploitation of motherhood and that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, like what I think is really interesting is that in 2018 there was actually, I think, only 8 pro-life university societies, and now like it's 2 years later and there's over 14. So that's obviously like quite a sharp rise. Like, how would you explain that? Do you think young people are maybe becoming kind of more outspoken and more bold in opposing abortion?
Yeah, 100%. But that is a trend across every single different type of thing. So, you know, like veganism, I don't know, kind of like, you know, the environmentalist type of thing, like all these things, feminism, it's all become quite outrageous. And even teenagers now, like, so many people are so outspoken, and you hear it from the older generation. You even hear it from like my dad, who's a teacher, and he'll be like, oh, like, you know, why do they back chat to me all the time, and like, why do they talk back to me, and they're so rude, they never used to be like that when I was kids, and all of this thing, like all these things. So I think like then it's exactly the same. It's like, if people are pro-life now, we're not just going to be really silent or really just kind of there when, you know, we are consulted or things like that. And we also need to appeal to young people who are going towards that way, whether kind of we like it or not, whether we think it's how the generation should be, that's what they're like now. So the only way to really appeal to school kids and appeal to university students is to have that really bold, that really outrageous, and that kind of idea that you're claiming it. Like, I'm not embarrassed of this, I'm not shy of this, like, I'm really claiming it. And so that's why I think there are so many more societies now, because young people are just sick of kind of cowering behind like the fact that they're not allowed to be pro-life.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like Grace and I always say, it's kind of almost like in previous years we've just kind of gone as lambs to the slaughter. So it's nice that we can kind of stand up and be like, well, hang on, actually we're proud of this, we're going to own it and be loud about it. So on that note, do you actually have any advice for students or young people who are anti-abortion / pro-life, who are too afraid to express their opinion?
Yeah, I would say the only reason that they're afraid is obviously because of what people think. Because during school, I was afraid of a lot of things. So even my personal beliefs. So personally, I'm Catholic. So I was even afraid to talk about that when I was younger. And a lot of my other beliefs about how kind of I would want to be as an adult. So I would literally say that is the only reason that they're afraid, is because they care what people think. And until you have to do it yourself. Like, no one can teach you how to not care, but you need to just kind of grow up and not care about what people think. Because when you have the facts and you claim something because you know it's right, there is literally no one that can make you feel stupid. And I think once you've done that, it's also really valuable just in your life, that you start to internalize the power that you have over something, and you realize that no one can bring you down about it. And that's when, you know, you run with it. So I think they kind of just need to grow up and know that they have the facts and deliver it.
That's really great. Thank you so much, Christina. Finally, just a quick question. Who is your pro-life hero?
My pro-life hero, I think it has to be Venture Hero. It's such a classic, like everyone says that, but it's because he literally started me off. Like, I was, you know, in my teens, in my like early teens, and he was the one who taught me everything, got me really passionate. Like, he gave me that zest for arguing, like the fact that like no one interrupts him and he doesn't take a breath. I was like, that's what I want to be like. So 100%, yeah, he's my hero. Yeah.
Okay, I think, is that kind of a wrap, would you say?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay, Christina, thank you so much for speaking to us, and thank you for everyone for joining us. And I would recommend going to have a look at Southampton Students for Life Facebook page. You can kind of keep up to date with their news and events there, and it's definitely worth the while.
Awesome. Take care.
Amazing.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.